today.
It is nice to see you. Thank you so much for doing this for us. We're really excited to have you as part of our Women's Health Girl series.
Absolutely honoured. When I got the email, I was very excited.
And nutrition with you today. My partner and I eat plant-based, so we really love food and cooking together and things like that. So I think talking to you about Miss Bliss is something that's going to be really interesting, and yeah, I'm excited.
Anything, my life revolved around food, so for me that's what I love to talk about.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I've always said that if you can master yourself, you can master your business. But I think mental health is obviously a hard one to master. I really try to keep my mind as healthy as I can. As a nutritionist, can you share your thoughts and advice on eating for mental health?
Of course, it's something that's really important to me. Especially, I find there are moments that I sort of even needed to remind myself I need to take better care of myself, because obviously it's now 4 years into the business, and there were times where I think my mental health wasn't the best, and it was because I neglected a few things. So, and it's not just nutrition, so they all come hand in hand. For me, it's making sure you're eating a whole foods diet, and so that's what Miss Bliss is. So I wanted to have a concept that was so easy for people to understand, but also has so many benefits. So having a whole foods diet and making sure you're eating good fats, coming from a Greek background, olive oil is the best thing in the world. So I'm a massive advocate for olive oil. So your healthy fats, walnuts are a massive thing in terms of your mental health and your brain. But it's also understanding things like how to manage stress. Which, first person to admit, at the start probably didn't have very many good coping mechanisms, but also exercise. But it doesn't have to be doing something. I've always said, don't do it if it's gonna do more damage to you if you're doing something you don't like. You're gonna put your body under a lot more stress if you're going to these classes that are, you're not enjoying, you're not looking forward to, you're pushing yourself.
Just flogging yourself.
That's exactly it. So, and I've had to learn that. I've had to learn those differences. So before I started Miss Bliss, I went through a stage where I was training twice a day, 6 days a week, eating strictly only what I had, meal prepped. I wouldn't go visit my grandma, or, because I didn't want to steer from that, and I wasn't in a very good place mentally. And then going into Miss Bliss, taking this concept of whole foods and just real food, avoiding things like your really refined sugar things and stuff like that. I still love sugar, don't get me wrong, but we can use an alternate way, so your body can process it a little bit better. So it is a factor of elements, and that all has to take into consideration when, discussing mental health and trying to work out the best plan for you. So I love afternoon walks. I live on the river in West End, and it is not only good in terms of exercise, but mentally, it was really cool new headphones too that are so, listen to a podcast or just breathe. And
just be outside.
That's exactly it. Just to breathe, be outside and really enjoy it. And I think in Brisbane we have so many beautiful locations, and that's something that people underestimate, how that can help your mental health.
Yeah, definitely.
So I also think cooking in the kitchen, for me, I don't know, it might not be everyone. Yes, so therapeutic. I get excited. Last night I was all weekend looking forward to I made a green curry with chickpeas and vegetables and everything, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more too, because I enjoyed the moment of making it.
So I'm just going to throw it out there. Hormones.
Yes.
Hormones are hard to balance, and they affect us every day. Sometimes they are great, and sometimes they are our worst enemy. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience as a nutritionist and how it's perhaps helped you gain a better understanding of hormone biology?
Hormones was something that I always wanted to. I was always leaned more towards it during my studies. Really hard, because there was nothing that based just on female hormone optimization. But it was always something that I wanted to find out a way, because whenever I went to the doctors, it was always well, take this pill, take this, this nutrient, this and that. And I'm like, but if this is made from a food, can't I get it in my diet? Some people can't, and we have to supplement. But I think the first stage of trying to get our hormones to the optimal state is through food. And I think that step's usually missed. It's usually jumped to, and people go, straight to your doctor or something like that. So when I first started doing a lot in female hormones was when I first left uni and I was working at a gym, and I had a lot of women, they wanted me to implement like, the 6-week challenge sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sort of against that because it really puts your body through a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And then you end up with a lot of women after that, that have, if it's not done properly. So that's when I started this concept that I put together, which took me sort of nearly 2 years to put together, which was sort of an elimination process to see what affects you, how it affects you, but also how it affects your hormones. And the easiest way to do that is keep a food diary.
Yeah.
But also keep like how you're feeling.
Yes.
And how, you're bloating and things like that. It's a long process. So you have to sort of, if you got to be in it for the long time to sort of understand how your body is functioning. And I think it works best when whoever's seeking it, so if I'm seeking to, get my hormones to optimal level, I want to understand it myself instead of someone saying to me, you need to be eating more greens. I want to know how that affects me.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the process I went through. What we need to understand is fats are, it's very similar to mental health. Your fats are something really important when it comes to hormones. So your good fat, legumes and beans are really good. And that's something I think people usually bypass. That's the sort of way that people can help to optimize their hormones and be able to sort of get them in the right state. But I also do say if there are large inconsistencies, you do need to go see a practitioner and talk about that, get your blood test.
So you're a part of Girl Gang, Real Women Code. Can you tell me a little bit about what it is that you guys do and how any aspiring or hustling girl bosses could be a part of this?
Yes, so my friend Catherine and I, a few years ago, I actually met her through the cafe, and she was working part-time and then doing her own sort of consulting on the side. And we found I was struggling when I first opened Miss Bliss because I had no one to bounce ideas off and things like that. It gets really lonely sometimes, you may be surrounded by staff and other people, but sometimes it feels sort of sad and lonely. And so it was maybe once a month or a few times a month we would catch up, go to a cafe and work from there. Even though she didn't know anything about the industry I was in, or she did, but we were able to bounce ideas off each other. And we sort of thought about, okay, well, should we create something where everyone can do that? We can bounce ideas and connect with people. And then we found that there were quite a few groups for women to get together, but we wanted to have it a bit different and make it educational. So be able to, I guess she is an occupational therapist. So for her to upskill, she gets to do that through work. And then I started to think, well, if I want to upskill, how do I do that?
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn things about Facebook advertising, marketing, taxes and accounting and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we started to create these events where we would find experts in that field, and we would aim for women, strong, independent women we could find in Brisbane, and host an event that they could, some top tips, some ways that we could connect them and they could learn something. Everyone can walk away learning something. Our biggest thing was we want people to walk away with real tools. So we made sure every single person got a pen and a notepad, because that was what meant the most to us. We wanted people to have those tools and walk away. To put a bit on the back burner lately because we've both just been absolutely, inundated with so many things. But we're working towards a few different things, and I think that's something that, we really want to be able to make sure we know the right stuff to be able to give people the tools.
Yeah. One of my favorite questions. Do you have a biggest business fuck up today that you can remember?
I wouldn't say in terms of, there are lots of little things that I did that I'm like, maybe I wouldn't have done, in terms of maybe trying to expand or do something different that didn't work. But I find my biggest one in business would be losing myself. And it's not something necessarily in terms of the actual business, but at one point I knew that I had put so much into my business that it was affecting my business, but also me personally. And that was the point for me where I was like, okay, something has to change.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be it.
So you have two businesses. You have Miss Bliss and Miss Bliss Treats. Plus you support and empower girl bosses behind Real Women Code, which we just spoke about. and you have a growing family with the recent addition of 2 baby nieces, with which obviously you want to be a present auntie to. How do you balance the busyness that comes with being a leader within 3 businesses, as well as enjoy time with your family? And do you have any processes to take time out and be with your family?
So I've actually had 3. I have 2 nieces and a little nephew that's come along. So it's 4 altogether, which has just, I don't know, it's the most beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So I've made a pact to myself. Once a week, I have to go spend at least half a day with one of them and rotate her around. And that is a non-negotiable. So that's whether the other week I went and picked up my 2-year-old nephew and we went and had lunch and, you know, just went out for the day while his mum got some sleep. Or whether it is, you know, hanging out last week, taking little baby Mary on errands, strapped to my chest until she vomited on me. But, you know, we made it. I just said, that's it. Like, it will happen. And it's usually a Thursday. But for me, that's really important. I'm very lucky too that I do live in the same building as my grandma. So that's, in our family, that's like the meeting place.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go far to catch up with everyone. I go down in a lift down to level 1 and everyone's there. So that's something I'm very grateful for. And that's something that keeps me connected. But there are still times that I might get really busy and haven't been able to honour that and haven't been able to do that. And it does get to me. And that's when I know, okay, I have to do this.
What is your number 1 online tool when it comes to making your life as a business owner easier?
I've recently gotten onto Asana. Different, so it's just to manage a team.
Yeah.
It is incredible to be able to everyone have their task. It has like a little tab. If you put your task in and put the date it needs to be done by, the tab at the start, that just tells you what's upcoming. So I know, okay, today I have to get this done. I also love Google Keep, which is lists.
Yeah.
So I have one shared with my head chef. I have one shared with the front of house staff. Just, I don't even have to communicate anything with them if it's on there. But other than that, that's like, and my Google Calendar.
Yeah, cool.
So I try and keep it simple. I'm an Android girl.
Yeah, okay.
So I've sort of always had that. But I think having those a few things intact have really, like I will forget things.
Helps streamline things.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really
Thank you so much for
No
being a part of
worries.
this. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.